I hope you guys are doing well. I don't know why my lighting is so dark, you guys. I've been very busy, a busy bee over here. How are you guys this Sunday? 20. Um, I want to talk about Putin and Africa's relationship. Putin and Africa's relationship, because it's very interesting. Psychically, what I've been picking up. Okay, I seen an article. I hope you guys are doing well, and I'm using the element of water, and I will be in the element of water today. I'm going to the natural springs, so I will collect firmly on the ground. Okay, I feel like um, you should at least do it for 14 days straight or more. Okay, grounding and earthing is very important. Okay, I did a video. I ground and earth my energy all the time. At one time, people did not wear shoes. Okay, they did not wear shoes, and their sandals was very, very light, very light. Um, it all depends on the terrain. Okay, so let's talk about Africa and what's going on with Africa and Russia. This is interesting because Putin says he's going to give Africa grain. Okay, now Africa is very interesting itself. Now, I do talk about Africa a lot, because in the future, Africa is going to be more powerful than what it is now. Okay, Africa, the continent of Africa. Why I have my head wrap on? I'm going to the springs. I'm going to do a spiritual bath, and I'm also going to get spring water. Okay, and I'm probably going to do a read when I get there. But I want us to talk about Putin in Africa, because this is very interesting. Now, Putin is known as the Kremlin, right? It was actually interesting. There's a lot of things that's going on is in scripture. A lot of things that's going on right now is in scripture. But so let's talk about Putin in Africa. The continent of Africa itself has every natural resource. You guys, I have did plenty of videos of Africa. Okay, plenty of videos of Africa. And the problem is, I call Africa the unforgotten, right? Because at one point, Africa was the Mecca. Okay, the Mecca. They still are the Mecca. Okay, they're just coming back into their power. Okay, you got to understand, Africa itself has many different languages, and there's a reason for that. Okay, and I will get into that maybe later on in this video. Okay, I'm using the water of element. Element is the most purest form, um, and also the water element is the water element itself is very powerful. Water. Okay, we don't understand how powerful water is. Okay, all right. So Putin, it was Putin, China, I think Brazil, um, and I know for sure it was the South African president um, of South Africa, but because he said that he welcomes Putin. Okay, yeah, he welcomes Putin to Africa. So what I'm seeing is this dynamic is very interesting. Okay, very, very interesting. This is why I'm talking about it. It came down my feet, so I want to talk about it. Okay. You guys can join in if you want to join in. Now, Putin. Um, what I see psychically, for the Kremlin, I said, you guys, he's sick. Okay, he has cancer. Okay, he has cancer. Now, this is not something that everybody knows, okay, but he has cancer. I was picking this up on him. for quite some time. This man has cancer. Okay. And every time I see him, I see this girl twirling in front of me. Actually twirling, you guys. How are you guys doing today? I hope you guys are doing well. Today is Friendship Day, and I want to thank you guys that have been following me and truly are my friend. Okay, truly are my soul tribe. Okay, have been with me from day one. Okay, day one, and have continuously followed me. And all my new viewers, I want to thank you guys for subscribing to my channel and following me. Okay. Yes, I look kind of tired, you guys, but I'm still standing. I'm still pushing. Okay. I've been very busy, very, very busy. But um, so Putin is very interesting. Um, there's only a few people that I read that are very intriguing, and Putin is one of those intriguing people. Okay, Putin and Andrew Tate, okay, are very intriguing to me. Okay, if I could sit down with anybody, I'm talking about that is living, okay. Now I don't really know if I really want to sit down with Putin, okay, but Andrew Tate I would love to sit down with, okay, and pick his brain. Okay, Andrew Tate, okay. Now let's talk about Putin and his relationship with Africa. This is very interesting, right? Russia has been doing. There has been Russians in Africa, on the continent for quite some time. With the Africans, it's very interesting. I always say the root, right? We look at the root, right? The foundation of any continent, any place. And if the root is strong, right, um, the flowers will blossom. Okay, the root is strong, the flowers will blossom. It doesn't matter where you plant your root, right? What's interesting is there is Africa has so many people from so many places plant or try to plant their roots. This is very interesting. And some people have been very successful in the past. Okay, very successful. But I don't see that happening for the continent of Africa. They're getting stronger and stronger by the day. May I say, ashe, ashe. Um, and you got to understand, Africa has every natural resource on this continent. Okay, every natural resource, and there's nowhere. Think about this, you guys, for a second. There's nowhere, and there's nowhere in the world that has every natural resource. I'm talking about every natural resource is on the continent of Africa. Okay, every natural resource. Okay, they can sustain their self if they didn't have so much corruption. Okay, literally, if they came together and unite. Um, they had the African Summit, which was very interesting. How other countries welcomed the Africans. Okay, one thing about Africans, I mean, they are very wise. Okay, very wise. Okay, they have endured a lot. Okay, and this is a time where their very roots, okay, is blossoming. Okay, and what I mean by blossoming is they're not before they were very triggered. Okay, like this water, they're very still. Okay, they're very still. Okay, because they know what's to come. Okay, they know already because they've been through it. Okay, because history has repeated itself. Okay, time, if you look at it, history has repeated itself and they know this and they truly understand this. Okay, they truly understand that history has repeated itself, may I say. So I asked myself, so Africa asked Putin to stop the war. in Ukraine. This is interesting. This is very interesting. Now, did somebody reach out an olive branch to Africa and say, look, can you talk to Putin? Okay. Um, this is really interesting. Okay. Um, because I have did so many reads on Vladimir Putin. Okay. This man is very, very smart. Okay. Very articulate. Okay. Very precise. Okay. A lot of people, and it's interesting when they call him the Kremlin, because he got the Kremlin name, is because of the way he takes action. Okay. And now some of the action he takes, and see, we don't know the whole story. Okay. We only know what we see and what we hear. Okay. Remember that. We only know what we hear and see about this man. Okay. But I'm seeing more, okay, than what is actually being said, okay, in the metaphysical, the spiritual realm, okay. But I also see the sickness on this man. And the picture that came down my feed, I was like, oh, his time is ticking. Okay, his time is actually ticking. And he knows this. So my question is, there has been Russians that have did dealings in Africa before. And the taste, okay, the taste they left in the African's mouth was very interesting. Okay. Now, it could have been mining, it could have been different stuff, but the taste, because I keep hearing taste, okay, they left in their mouth. So this means the interactions, okay. Um, See, people don't understand when you go to Africa, okay. Now, a lot of us, our ancestors come from Africa, okay. But Africa has a lot of corruption, okay. It always has been, okay. And the reason why is because of the slave trade, okay. Before, you got to understand, Africa was booming, okay. Africans had their own slaves, okay, before there was slavery here in the Western world, okay. But the slaves, the way they treated them was a little bit different, okay. But the Africans are very smart. The problem is there's so much corruption, okay, so much corruption. I have a lot of friends that are from Africa, and anybody I talk to that is from the continent of Africa, they could be from Nigeria, they could be from Ghana, they could be from Ethiopia, they could be from Morocco, they could be from Zimbabwe, they could be from any part of Africa. The Congo, okay? What's interesting is the stories that were being told about these this place, okay, is true and false. Okay. I have a friend um in Ethiopia. Okay. I have a lot of Ethiopian friends. Okay. So a lot of there was a war in Ethiopia um against a race of Ethiopians. Okay. But we're not gonna say that. We're not gonna talk about that. That's for another day. I got so many stories about Africa. Okay. So let's talk about Putin's relationship with Vladimir Putin's relationship with Africa. So he's saying he's going to send, they want him to stop the war, and he's going to send grain, okay, to Africa, which I thought was kind of weird because Africa already has grain, 1517. They already have grain, okay? And I feel like this is for Putin, he kind of always admired Africans. Okay. Yes. Because Putin would travel to Africa a lot, you guys, more than we know, may I say. And he has a lot of respect for Africans. He kind of idolizes Africans. Okay. Now, I remember there's pictures in Russia, okay, in the churches of Russia, the Orthodox Church, which Putin is Orthodox, okay, a Russian Orthodox, of the Virgin Mary, okay, and the Jesus, okay. Yeshua. And the pictures are depicted as dark skinned black people. You guys, I'm saying it, okay? So the Russians know this, okay? They know this, and Putin knows this, okay? And I feel like Putin just doesn't idolize them. He respects the Africans, okay? He has made many trips to Africa, okay? Known and unknown, okay? Um, and I'm hearing taste, okay? He left a good taste in the Africans' mouth, okay? This is what I'm hearing. So they respect Putin, okay? But he's going to give them grain. And it's interesting, what kind of grain is this, okay? Is this grain only grown in certain areas? I know in Egypt, they get their grain from their bread, okay, their wheats and stuff from Ukraine, okay, and Egyptians love bread, okay, they love their bread, okay. They have many cultures love bread. They eat bread more than we eat bread, okay. Um, this is very interesting. So, what kind of grain is he actually sending to Africa? Because Africa has grain, okay. So, what kind of grain is it? Seriously, this is what I'm asking myself. I wish I can pull up the article where he says he's going to send grain, grain. But they have grain. So what kind of grain is this man sending? Now there's a saying Napoleon said about the Africans. Okay, it's an interesting saying. Hold on, you guys. I need more light. Okay, I need light. Okay, let there be light. Let there be light. There's a saying, hold on, I need more light. Okay, I'm back, you guys. Ooh, that's a lot of light. I needed light. There's a saying that Napoleon said, and I never forget this. My friend from Ghana, um, I gotta find that saying and share that saying with you guys. But there's a saying that Napoleon said about the Africans. Napoleon, if you guys know anything about Napoleon, and it's very profound. Okay, I'm gonna find it. Okay, um, Napoleon wasn't very fond of the Africans. Okay, now when the Africans came to America, they had the African Summit, right? The Africans were not treated. They never was treated seriously. Okay, I feel like they never was treated seriously by the Americans, and this is going to be a problem in the future. Okay, so if you're a politician following my channel or anybody in government, you need to start taking these Africans serious, okay? Because this is a new kind of Africa that they have not seen, okay? Seriously have not seen. And what I mean is they're getting stronger. Okay? They're getting very stronger. Okay? As a continent, especially when they went over and they talked about who was it that brought all that money over there to pass this agenda, this gay agenda? Camilla Harris. Okay. They did not take her money. Okay. And I watched videos of Africans from Kenya, from Ghana, from South Africa, actually speaking upon this issue. Okay. They know what is to come. Okay. This is why they didn't take the money. Okay. They don't want this agenda pushed on their people. Even the island people, the Jamaicans, was like, you're not bringing this over here. Okay. The money doesn't matter about the money. Okay. Just saying. But let's talk about stay on Putin and Africa's dynamic. This is very interesting. What grain is Putin going to give Africa? They have grain. um is this, and they're telling him he needs to stop fighting. Will he stop fighting? Okay. Now he's a sick man. Let's see what we get. I wanted to use the water element. I already see what I'm seeing here, but I just want to pull one card because to validate what I'm actually seeing here. Okay. Sometimes I have to do that. Okay. One card. That's all I need is one card. So I want to see how Putin actually feels about the African people. Truly feel from his heart. Okay. His heart space. Now, why I'm saying this water is actually moving. Okay, so this is showing me a lot. This is showing me that he's pouring himself out to the Africans. Okay, pouring himself out. Okay, this is very interesting. This water is moving. Okay, this card flipped out. Two cards flipped out. Now, this is interesting. These two cards flipped out. Was courtship. This is what I'm telling you guys. I feel like it's like a relationship, a true relationship. And the water is moving itself. Okay, so this is showing me something here. Now, and a child. Okay, so child number 18 and number 4, courtship. Okay, so this is the way Putin feels about Africa. So Putin feels there is a courtship, there is a friendship. Okay, there is a love here. Okay, this is interesting. When you're courting somebody, right, you take your time, you get to know them. And this is what I'm telling you guys. He has been in Africa for quite some time. He has made relationships with the African people. Okay, not just one place. Okay, not just South Africa, all over Africa he has been. Okay, so he sees them as a courtship, a true courtship. And why I'm saying this, the element of the water is actually moving. Okay, it's moving. Okay, so he sees them as a courtship. Okay, friends, true friends. Okay, true friends, true. Let's see if the love card comes out, because if the love card comes out, and I'm going to explain why the child came out. So he sees them as a courtship. So we're seeing from Vladimir Putin's view, and then we're going to see from the Africans' view. Okay, so there's two cards that came out together: friendship and child. So when we look at child, it's an innocence. Okay, there's an innocence about a child. Okay, so Putin sees Africa as there's an innocence about Africa that he admires. Okay, because you see the child that's holding this teddy bear, right? This child is admiring. Look at her eyes. She's admiring. She's happy, right? And she's admiring. She's content. Okay, she's content. So Putin is very content with the continent of Africa. Okay, and this took quite some time for this courtship, because a courtship, you take a time to get to know somebody or know a place. So he took his time to know the Afrikaans. Okay, he took his time to know the Afrikaans. Okay, and there's a innocence about this and a childlike energy. Okay, about this. And as you see a child, there's a purity about a child. So he sees a purity about Africa, the continent itself, okay, and the African people, the Afrikaans, okay. So that is what's crossing the courtship. Now, I don't know what kind of grain he's giving the Africans, okay. I'm just saying they have grain there. This might be some kind of grain that's not grown there, okay. But he made them a promise. So, and it's kind of like he's happy, okay, a happy child. Let's get one more card. So he courtship, so he took his time, he got to know the Afrikaans, right? and there's an innocence about his relationship with them. I feel like he admires the Africans. Okay, he admires them. He looks up to them. Okay, this is what I'm feeling psychically. Okay, give me one more card. Now, there's a main female here. He might have a main female in Africa. Just saying. Oh, Papa. So there is a main female here that he's in love with. Now, also you can, and she's African. Putin has an African woman. I gotta laugh, you guys, because I never know what I'm gonna get. So also the main female. Okay, the main female is interesting because she's also offering that rose, right? That endowment, that love. Okay, I just want to see the love card come out because I know it's going to come out. Okay, so we know how Putin's mind is thinking as far as the Afrikaans. Okay, and I'm calling them the Afrikaans. Okay, because they were called by many names. Okay, but he sees them as he's offering the flower to them. Okay. And normally when you give somebody flower or a flower and there's a bush of flowers behind, that's a sign of endowment. Okay. This is interesting. So Putin has an African woman, you guys. Okay. Just saying, whatever's coming out is coming out. Yep. Main female, main male. You guys, I never know what I'm going to get. Okay. There is a main female and a main male. So he's in a relationship with an African woman, okay? Because that would be Putin, the main male, okay? So he's been in a relationship with this African woman for quite some time, and the Africans know this, okay? Or this African woman. So one more card. I didn't know that was going to come out. You guys, I never know what I'm going to get, okay? But I know there's a love relationship here. Now, this card keeps flipping out, and normally when the cards flip out like this, I have to say it. There's a false person here, okay? A false person. Now, we're talking about Putin, okay? That card kept flipping twice. It flipped out of my card, of my read. A false person. So I don't know. This is interesting because we're talking about Putin. I don't feel like his energy is false towards the Africans, but there could be some falseness there. Okay. Also, he's in bad health, which we all, not all know that, but I'm telling you guys, he's in bad health. Okay. He has cancer. If you guys don't know, this is not talked about, but I pulled this energy. He does have cancer. Okay. And he goes over there for medicine, okay? For medicine. Now, this is Putin's energy towards Africa, okay? I just want to see if that one card comes back out. Okay, so the false person was coming out. Now, I do feel like in the future, there will be a crossing for Putin, and I think he knows this, okay? It's interesting because seeing a dancer, which that's the girl, the ballerina girl, whatever, but he has a relationship with an African woman, okay, and he might even have a child in Africa, okay, to this African woman. Wow, that took me by surprise. And the coffin cards here. So I feel like his time is interesting. There's going to be a time of crossing for him, okay? And he knows this, okay? He knows this. And I believe that whoever's taking care of him could be an African woman, okay? But I feel like also he has also seek help in the professional field for his cancer, but also seek the Africans' help. Okay, this is very interesting. I did not know this. Okay, I knew about the health, but I did not know he was seeking medical help, like herbalists. Okay, that kind of help for this cancer. because he wants to live. Okay, he don't want to cross. Okay, he wants to live. Um, but there is a crossing here. So um, this is intimate. So this will happen. Okay, this will come to pass. Okay, there will be an end. Um, and I think the end is him passing over. Okay, crossing over. For Putin. Okay, and I think he knows this. Okay. Um, Now let's see one more card on Putin in Africa. So we found out that he got a woman in Africa. Okay, he's in battle, which I already knew that, and he might even have a child in Africa. Now it's interesting because Putin feels in despair. Okay, this is interesting. He feels in despair, defeated. I'm pulling his energy. 31, 31. I'm timeline jumping. So he feels despair. And let's just get one more card here. There's just sadness to Putin. And I seen that in his face when he came down my feed about sending grain to Africa. There's a sadness about him. Okay. And this is the sickness. I believe this is a sickness. And you got to understand, you could be the wealthiest man in the world. Okay. That wealthy man. But when you have sickness that is taking over your body, okay, and you know the time is ticking, okay, you start to analyze your life, okay, what you have done, okay, good or bad, okay, and he's shown up as a wealthy man, okay, so definitely the marriage here with Africa, okay, he sees Africa as a marriage, a relationship, okay, and he feels like Africa can help Russia in the future in some kind of way, okay, just saying. And the distant horizon is him actually traveling to Africa. Okay, he has took many trips to Africa. Okay, so that is what I'm getting on Putin and Africa. Now let's get Africa. Okay, how does Africa feel about Putin? Okay, the Afrikaans. Give me true discernment, angels, ancestors. Yeshua, Yewa. Ooh, Yewa. Give me true discernment. How does the Africans feel about Putin? Let's journey. So this took time. Okay. The Africans feel like this was a journey. This was time. It took time. They didn't just let the Russians come in with the money. It was a journey for the Africans. Okay. Of getting to know the Russians, okay? Because everybody that comes on their soil, they get to know, okay? In some way, some interaction. Business, trade is business, okay? Because I'm hearing trade, okay? So this was a journey for the Africans. And this was a long journey. Because if you see the train, it's so long, you can't even see how long this train is, okay? This is interesting, and this is like this would be somebody just watching, and then in the back the ancestors. That would be the ancestors. Okay, so they have been watching him, okay, for quite some time, and it has been a journey with them. Their relationship, their dynamic. Okay, this is what the Afrikaans see in Putin. Okay, give me 2 or 3 more cards on Africa. How they feel about Putin, because they want him to stop this war, and it will stop, you guys. This man is sick, so it's interesting because who's going to take over Putin's position? Okay, I see it, but I don't want to say it. Okay, that might be for another video. Okay, so he feels like long term that Russia will get revenue from Africa because there's already revenue. So the Africans, so we're talking about the Africans now. So the Africans felt like this is a long journey with Russia. It took time to get to know them, okay, how they their dealings with them in business. Okay. Um, so they see how they work with business. Okay. So if they're honest, if they're crooked, whatever. Okay. This has been a very long journey. Okay. Of getting to know each other for the Afrikaans. Okay. This is the Afrikaans point of view. Now, the Africans see this as unexpected income. Okay. So they do see this as money. Okay. Financial gain here. And it's interesting because if you look at both hands, one is polished and one is torn. Okay. So this will help some of the the, the continent of Africa that is struggling financially. Okay. Now this coin, I'm even seeing it in gold. Okay, so it could be gold um being given. Okay, gold. Okay. Um or some kind of element that Africa is not producing, which they have gold there, they have diamonds, they have all that stuff. So there's something that Russia has that they want. But there is a little bit of concern here. There is a little bit of concern with the Africans, okay? Some Africans, they are concerned about um, Russia, okay? Um, because they have been let down before, okay? So this is interesting. So some Africans do have concern, and then some know this is financial gain, okay? Wow. Okay, what does the Africans think of Russia? And they see them as unexpected income, okay? Wow, this coffin card keeps coming. So when you see the coughing, this is interesting. It's the end and it's the beginning. Okay. So they see an end to something and a beginning to something new. This is what I was saying. Okay. Um, wow. The Africans see the Russians in high honor. This is interesting. They see them in high honor. And if you look at their hats, they look like the Russian hats. Just saying. But they see them in high honor. So if there was anything with the concern, um, the coffin came after the concern. So it would be to me is some are concerned and some are not. And there's an end to something and a beginning to something new. Okay. This is the African's point of view. Okay. On how they're feeling and how they're thinking. Okay. Give me one more card for the Africans and then I'm going to end this read. But they see Russia in high honor. Okay. They see Russia an end of something is something new. And the flowers are also in the other in Putin's. So, and there's a light coming from this coffin, behind this coffin, right? So this to me, I feel like something new. They feel like something new. But there's also concern here with some of the Africans, okay? Because of the past, okay? What has happened in the past could happen in the future, okay? This is what they're saying. But there is income, okay? And the journey that they had with foreigners have been many. You see how long that train is? We can't even see how long that train is, okay? So it's been a very long time. Now, this the marriage card again. Okay, so there's like a marriage between them. Okay, what I mean is there's a in marriage you have good and bad days, right? So they feel like there's a marriage between them and Russia. Okay, a marriage. Okay, an actual marriage. So this is showing me that Africa feels some of the Afrikaans feel there's a marriage here. There's a true pure connection. Okay, this is what I was getting before I even pulled the cards. Okay, this marriage. I kept hearing marriage with the wealthy man, and that would be Putin, of course. Okay. Now the war is here, so this is interesting because this is like there's battle, and the Africans are asking him to stop this battle, to stop the war. Okay. Now, will he stop it? Let's see. Because there's people around him whispering in his ear. Okay. His own friend was going to turn on him. Okay. If it wasn't for one of his friends telling him that his friend was going to turn, who knows right now? I could be sitting here telling you a whole different story. Okay. Moscow could have been taken over. Okay. By these thugs. Okay. Because I see them as thugs. Okay. Yeah. The pathway is clear. So there will be an ending. Um, to this, okay? And see that crossing. There will be an ending to this war because they're asking him. So somebody's whispering in the Afrikaans ears, like, Putin, let's stop this, okay? Um, and he's like, in the timing. There's something with the timing because there's like a old, those old clocks that wind up, okay? There's something with Putin and the timing, even Africa and the timing here. Okay, they want this to end. The ancestors are watching. This is interesting. You see the ancestors way back there? They've been watching for quite some time. Wow. And the Africans is interesting because they see Russia as wealth because the wealthy man's here. Okay, so it's that marriage, okay, that give and take, okay, freely give and take, and that's what's happening here. I feel like the war will end, you guys. Okay, it will end. Yep, it will end. Okay. Now I feel like Putin is making a trip to Russia. I mean, Putin is making a trip. Sorry, Putin is making a trip to Africa. Okay, give me one more card. What month? I think it's very soon because he's concerned about his health. Okay, so this is very soon that he will make this. I'm seeing 45. Okay. He's going to go give them a gift. Yeah. He knows his time is running out. You guys, I cannot make this up. Shit. So, one more card. So when will Putin go to Africa? Because he's definitely, this despair energy. This defeat, he feels defeated. This is interesting because Putin never comes up like this in my reads. Okay, he comes out strong, but he's weak. He's very weak. Putin is weak. And I just seen it come down my feed about Africa and Russia, Africa and Putin, and I seen sickness on his face. So he's very weak. Okay, so I don't even know if he's gonna make it until 2024. Okay, I don't know. I don't think so. If he does, I'll be really surprised. His time, yes. Oh my God, the ancestors are here. Okay, they're saying yes. So I don't know if he's going to even make it to 2024, which would be in January. Okay. It's like they're ready to welcome him home. His ancestors. This is bizarre. And I never pulled weakness on Putin. Okay, never ever. Okay, never ever. Never. When will Putin visit Africa? When will Putin visit Africa? Give me the month that Putin will visit Africa? I think this will be his last visit to Africa, you guys. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm truly thank you. I truly thank you. I'm thank you for this true gift that I truly have. Um, I knew it was gonna be in October. Um, that will be the last time Putin will ever visit Africa. Okay, 45, 45 um, is October. Okay, um, because of the crossing. Okay, wow. And his ancestors are waiting for him. You guys, I have chills. Okay. Um, I don't, we got to understand, the Russians really didn't care for the Americans. A lot of people don't like understand the Western way. Okay. They were raised different. Okay. Um, and I feel like Putin is very weak at this moment. He's very sad. He doesn't show this to the world. Okay. Um, and he has to get his strength just to get up in the mornings. Okay. Because he's trying to hold Russia together. Okay. Because if he doesn't, the next person that's going to take over Russia um, is far more worse than Putin is. And this is what I'm getting. Okay. And I've been picking up this energy for quite some time. Um, wow. So October will be his last visit, even if he could make it. Okay. Um, okay, October. And I knew it was October, but I just wanted to verify it. So if he does travel to Africa, October will be his last time. If he does go. And I just split the deck in distant horizons. Okay, that will be Africa. And that would be his last commute. Um, the ancestors are here and they're waiting for him, okay, because they know his time is near, okay, may I say. And it's interesting because I'm seeing a grandfather and his mother. Is his mother alive? But his grandfather, um, his relationship with his grandfather was very interesting, okay. I feel like he admired his grandfather more than he admired his father, his grandfather, okay. And his mother, he loved his mother, okay. Now I'm seeing his mother, she has like brownish hair. Um, and his grandfather was not like his father, okay. His grandfather was very easy to talk to, um, a funny guy, okay. You know how you have the jokester? That would be his grandfather. His grandfather was very religious in his upbringing. Um, and his grandfather was not like his father. This is interesting. His grandfather was actually gentle. I'm feeling a gentle soul. Okay. Um, and his mother was very complex about his mother. Um, she was very quiet. Okay. I'm seeing a quiet woman in front of me. Very, very quiet. Okay. But his father was the total opposite. His father was very aggressive. Okay. In nature. Okay. Wow. This is deep. Okay. Wow, wow, wow. I don't know Putin's story, but I don't see Putin coming from a wealthy family. I see Putin come from a poverty family. Um, and sometimes when you come from a poverty family, you never want to go back to that poverty. Okay, because we know he worked for the KGB. Okay, So he came from the literally from the bottom. When they say he made it from the bottom, he made it from the bottom. Seriously, made it from the bottom. Because what's behind this is the wealthy man. So he came from poverty to wealth. So he really came from the bottom. Okay. Um. Wow. Okay. I don't know Putin's background. Okay. But I'm seeing a grandfather here and a mother that's waiting to cross him over. Is his mother alive? Okay. I don't think she's alive. Okay. Um, she's ready to cross him and the grandfather. Now, I don't know if the grandfather used to walk with a cane, but he was very religious, okay? Very humble, nothing like his father, okay? Just saying. Um, and I see him smiling with his grandfather, but not like with his father. Okay, his father was very structured, very stern. The mother was very soft spoken. Okay. So he really came from the bottom. He really came from poverty and became a wealthy man. Okay. Serious poverty, serious war was going on around him. Because if you look at the structures of the building, they look like the structures are perfect and nice, and but there was war around him. Okay. When he was growing up, there was war around him. Okay. He's seen this. He survived it. Okay. Um, and this is the thing, he knew what war could bring. Okay. So this boy that grew up around war, seen war, didn't come from a really rich family. Okay. I don't know, did he come from a rich family? Because I'm not seeing that. Okay. Or maybe he's seen poverty around him. I don't know. Okay. I don't know his story, but I'm seeing a poverty, okay, to wealth, and this would be Putin, and I do see the crossing. The crossing is definitely here, so there is a crossing that's coming, okay. And the last visit he's gonna have is on, if he does go, will be in October, because that's what I was picking up psychically. But he feels defeated, despair. Despair you can think of as depression, and he has tried everything to try to bring himself, all kind of modern medicines, all kind of African medicine, to stop this from happening. Okay, it's not working. Okay, and it won't be working. Okay. Um, Now he could be worried about his children, um, and this relationships that he has with these women. Okay. Um, wow. I didn't even know he had a woman in Africa. Okay. He might even have a damn child because the child card come out. Okay. You never know. Okay. But this coffin is, yeah, the change. Okay. The change. And then from him being this, okay, um, in the coffin here, these three cards. Okay, so this would change, because of the crossing. Okay, his actual crossing. Okay, now I see a lot of crossings. I'm going to do a video on all the crossings that I see that is to come. There's a lot of people, 50, 54, 46. A lot of people are going to be crossing in 2023 into 2024. Okay, a lot of people. And I will come on with that next video. All right, you guys. This read was on Russia, Vladimir Putin as we know it, and the continent of African or Africa. Okay. I'm sending you guys love and light, pure love, pure light. This video is use discernment. Okay. Um, and if you're Ukrainian, this war will end. Okay. This is what I'm seeing. Okay. There will be an end to this. Um, and there will be a big funeral for Putin. Okay. Um, and they're going to mourn for him, because the ones that do respect him, they're going to mourn for him for days. Okay. His time is almost up, you guys, because I keep hearing this ticking of a clock. Okay. All right, I'll be right back on. Love and light, my beautiful souls. Ashe, ashe.